Well, welcome back, everyone. Uh, in our last episode, we talked about this whole idea of momentum. And if you remember the BUS acronym, how do you build, use, and sustain momentum? And we talked about how important momentum was as a leader to moving your team and getting the best out of the team. Well, we've got something really useful for you. Darren's going to share with you a fantastic model that's going to really help you figure out this whole jigsaw puzzle around momentum. So Darren, share with us this amazing model.
Fantastic. Thanks, Andre. And yeah, it was great to get on the bus. There's certain times in our life when we've been on the bus, and when you're on the bus, you do everything you can to stay on the bus because you know there's a momentum there. And I think that, the BUS acronym, again, just to start us off, was we wanted to build the momentum. How do we create that in the first place? And then the U, so important. What do we do with that? One thing to have momentum. It's another thing to, can we see it wasted? Absolutely. You can see it wasted. So how do you take that and focus it in a direction that will produce what you're wanting it to produce or carry you forward in the direction you want to go? And then, of course, sustain it. Right? How do you keep it going? And so what we're going to talk about today is how to do that. And this model, pre-existing model, not creating it on the spot for this one, is our RISE model. All right. So the first thing with our R, starting with the stop, which is what do we need to remove? So if you sit back and you take your homework from last time, which is what's working, so we get a sense of what's there and what might get in the way, is based on that, what do we need to remove? And so what I'd actually like you to do, so those that are, sharing this with us, is maybe treat this like a workshop. So please feel free to stop as we're going and take your notes, write it down. So number one, what do you need to remove? What do we need to take out of what we're doing? Maybe there's something in our meetings that isn't working. Maybe there is a meeting that we can remove altogether that's getting in the way. Maybe, there's something in your routine that's slowing you down. So what do we remove? What do we want to stop doing? I initiate. What do we need to start doing? What do we want to bring in? What do we want us to now bring into the system? And like any good organizational system, if you're bringing in something significant, particularly if it's a time-oriented thing, what have we removed to create the space for it? I know a lot of leadership teams that I work with, they realize, we're not spending enough time talking about our people, just having a focus on people. So let's add this in. So if we're going to add that in, we got to look previous stat. What did we remove, right? To create this, because we don't want to get sluggish, right? By adding in, even though it may make sense to add it in, the intent is to build momentum, not to slow momentum down. And then we go to our S with it, which is, strengthen. This is why we wanted to look back on what was working. What do we want to make sure we do not lose, that we want to build on, that we want to get stronger with? And sometimes it's already strong, so it's just keeping it going. Other times it's, okay, here's this little piece here that we're doing. How do we literally pump that up? And sometimes how we strengthen something is just using it, right? That's how you get stronger. You got to push that muscle a little bit, right? And then finally, we get to our E, which is our evolve. Now, this is kind of almost like an adaptation, right? What do we need to change? One of my clients, they had a very good strategic plan for the year. Things were going very, very well. And as we went through this process, it became pretty clear that there was a significant issue that had come up kind of mid-year that was outside of that plan. So they needed to evolve the strategic plan for the year mid-year to be able to address that. So that meant, okay, what do we need to evolve in our plan, in our approach to be able to address this significant issue? So that is our RISE model, right? And then come the end of it, what are you going to do with that? Right now, pulling out the one or two key things out of each of those areas that you can put into play to really build that momentum.
I love that RISE model. I love the acronym, Darren, because it talks very much about this upward movement. And yes, remove, initiate, strengthen, evolve. As a leader, as we sit down to think about what we want to do to build, use, and sustain this momentum. So I love the RISE acronym. I'm going to use it in terms of looking at my team right now because it's new for me, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we throw back to a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about wiring your weekly, just take this and plug this into the architecture of your meeting, right? What do we need to remove from our meeting? What do we need to add in to our meeting? What do we need to strengthen, to build on? And then finally, what do we need to evolve about it? How do we grow as our team grows and adapts and so on? So you can apply this to overall. You can also get very narrow with it. Apply it to very specific situations.
I love it. Wiring your weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could come up with a different acronym.
Okay, here we go. It's happening.
Wow. Wiring our weekly.
There you go. It's just, see, this is the beauty of momentum right here.
This just keeps coming out. I don't know. Okay, so fantastic. So hopefully you've got some really good ideas, things that you can start thinking about as a leader to really start building, using and sustaining that momentum for you and your team.
And just remember, as a leader, probably the single most powerful force you have is the ability to build, utilize, and sustain. Get your team on the bus, and off you go.
Wow.
Wiring our weekly.
Wiring our weekly. Thank you, Darren.
Thanks, Andre. Be well.